If your belly looks like this, pooch looks like this, or hips look like this, I want you to see these pictures of me because nothing was working until I learned this. So this was me just 3 months ago, and this is me now. And I know it's been talked about a million times, but this hormonal belly fat was so depressing for me. So losing it feels like a weight off my shoulders because until I learned what I'm about to share with you in the next 30 seconds, I was going up pant sizes to the point I felt like a stuffed sausage. And it wasn't just the extra pooch. I had the bloat so bad my pants would be loose in the morning, and by the end of the day, I looked 6 months pregnant while eating next to nothing. And I got to the point I even had blood drawn, checked my thyroid, and still had no idea what was going on. So let me explain what I found, because not only did this explain why the diets and exercise didn't work, but also why the ashwagandha supplements and mushroom coffees were never going to be enough on their own. And I don't take credit for discovering this because I came across a post on Reddit from this gut health practitioner who linked to a study about hormone changes and gut health after 35 that went like this. So she said, estrogen does a lot more than regulate cycles and mood because it actually keeps the gut lining strong, like a protective seal holding everything together. So when estrogen drops after 35, that seal starts to weaken and the gut wall becomes more vulnerable. And at the same time this is happening, cortisol is climbing because that's just what happens in perimenopause. So the stress hormone rises as estrogen falls. And I didn't realize these two are meant to balance each other out. So when one drops and the other spikes, the gut is left unprotected. So now the gut lining is weak and cortisol is suppressing the immune system. So the bad bacteria that normally get cleared out start to multiply. And they build this protective coating on the gut wall to shield themselves that scientists call biofilms. It's like the plaque that builds up on teeth, except it's lining the inside of the digestive system. And once the coating forms, nutrients from food can't absorb properly anymore. So even if the diet's perfect or the supplements are great, the body isn't actually getting what it needs. And because it's not getting the nutrients it needs, it thinks it's starving and panics. So cortisol spikes even higher to hold on to every calorie possible. And this elevated cortisol stores fat, specifically in the abdomen, because this area has 4 times more cortisol receptors than anywhere else in the body. So that's the pooch that appears out of nowhere. And because the gut's inflamed, it signals the body to hold on to water as a survival mechanism, which explains the puffiness in my face and bloating of my belly. And I'm reading this thinking, okay, so that's why the diets and ashwagandha didn't work. Because even if I was lowering some cortisol, nothing was breaking down the biofilm that was keeping the whole loop running in the first place. So obviously I asked her, how do you actually break it down? And she told me there's an enzyme from pineapple stems called bromelain that dissolves the protein structure of biofilm without damaging healthy tissue. Apparently, it's the same stuff that makes your mouth tingle when you eat too much pineapple, but in a concentrated form from the stem, so it can actually break through that coating and let the gut start absorbing again. So that was the first part sorted. But then she mentioned about the belly weight and said that once the biofilm is cleared and the gut can finally absorb, one of the most important compounds to get through is berberine, because it activates something called the AMPK pathway, which is basically the metabolic switch that tells the body to burn stored fat instead of hoarding it. So it works like those expensive skinny jabs, but without the nasties, while restoring good bacteria in the gut so inflammation comes down and cortisol follows. But of course, I immediately asked, why aren't all women taking this stuff? Until she explained that on its own, berberine barely absorbs. Like less than 1% actually makes it into the bloodstream. So most women buy berberine from Amazon thinking they're getting the benefits, but the body just flushes it and it gets dismissed as a fad. But the fix has been known for years. Just a pinch of black pepper extract increases absorption by up to 2,000%. It's just most companies don't include it because it costs more to formulate. So at this point, I'm thinking, great, but where do I actually find something that has all of this together without buying 3 different supplements and playing scientist with the dosages? And she sent me a link to this company called Nuora that had put all of it in one capsule, plus some ashwagandha to bring cortisol down once the biofilm's removed. So I ordered it thinking, honestly, I've tried enough things to know this could be another waste of money. But the research made sense, and what did I have to lose at this point? And that was 3 months ago. This is what I looked like when I started. And this is me now. The pooch that made me look pregnant is gone. The bloating that had me unbuttoning jeans by dinner has calmed down. And I don't know if it's because my gut is less inflamed now or cortisol has finally come down, but the brain fog has lifted and I actually have energy past 2 p.m. And I'm sharing this because menopause can be such an overwhelming time with so little direction. And so many of us are doing everything right and still watching that belly grow. But knowing what's actually happening inside the body, like what's really going on with the gut, can just help so much. So the company is Nuora Gut Capsules, and I'll drop the link below if anyone wants to check it out.